Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your November 2022 Tarotscope. If you are curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. Before we jump in, I would like to remind you that this is a general reading, not a personal reading, so please only take what resonates with you. In addition, there will be a timestamp in the description box so that you can skip through shuffling if you choose to do so. I do want to apologize for being absent during the month of November. Honestly, I had so much of my own healing going on and a lot that I was processing, and really did not have the capacity to take on anything additional at that time. However, I am going to be making up for it by time traveling back to October, taking a look at what you might have healed or learned from that during that month, how you might have grown due to these things that you've healed or learned from, right? And then coming back into November, taking a look at what's coming for you this month, how it will help you moving forward, and any guidance you may need moving forward as well. So let's jump in, Scorpio. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what did Scorpio learn or heal in October 2022? Thank you. Just one for you, Scorpio. How have you grown, Scorpio, from the... Yep, just that one there. Thank you. What's coming for you for November, please? What's coming for Scorpio for the month of November 2022? What's coming for Scorpio? Yep, thank you. How will what's coming for November help you moving forward? How will what has come in for November help Scorpio? Thank you. Yes, okay. I feel like there's some more in here for you somewhere. How will what you have experienced in the month of November help you moving forward, Scorpio? Thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right, and any guidance for Scorpio moving forward? What guidance does Scorpio need for November 2022 and beyond? Thank you. All right, Scorpio, let's get these out of the way and jump right in. Okay, so October for you, Scorpio, we have come to me, attracting like a rose, receive abundance and desires. So, a couple of things. First of all, I feel like October for you, Scorpio, could have been a month of opportunity. Okay. And I feel like this may not have shown up in the way that you think it may have when you just heard me say that. Because I feel like opportunity, or oh my gosh, excuse me, October for you, Scorpio, was an opportunity to allow yourself to receive. Okay. I feel like, God, universe, source was trying to show you that you are, I don't want to say worthy, because you're always worthy, right? And I don't want to assume, that you don't feel worthy. But I feel like there is an element of that here, right? There's this element of God trying to show you, you have people who care about you. You have people who love you. You have opportunities available to you to show you that essentially, these things are in your life, that you do have abundance in your life, right? I feel like there's something here about this opportunity to open up and to realize the abundance that you have in your life, right? But here's the thing. You have to be open to receiving that, right? You have to be open to acknowledging that and allowing those things in your life, right? So, for example, Scorpio, maybe you had new people come into your life. okay, who are like, hey, you seem like a great person. I would like to get to know you, right? And some of you may have taken advantage of that opportunity and allowed yourself, keyword there is allow, by the way, Scorpio, may have allowed yourself to open up, right? Allowed somebody in, perhaps. Or there could have been others of you who did not take this opportunity, right? Who had the opportunity, but were like, I don't really need any more friends. Maybe someone invited you out for coffee or something, and you were like, oh, I'm busy. I'm sorry, or something like that. I also feel like for some of you, there are people in your life already or situations in your life already that were trying to show you how valuable you are to them, right? So for example, maybe it's a situation in the sense of like you have this job and your boss or whatever management was trying to show you how valuable they see you as an employee, and were trying, maybe you got a raise or something like that. Maybe people in your life were giving to you, right? We're trying to show you, hey, we really appreciate you. We love you. I mean, and here's the thing, Scorpio, November, or excuse me, October, is part of your birthday month, right? Some of you. And so, for some of you, it could have been you had a birthday and your people were trying to show you how much you mean to them, right? And some of you may have been open to receiving that love, receiving that recognition, that acknowledgement, right? And some of you may have been turned off to it, shut down to it. Now, obviously, I know that some of you have birthdays or, could have birthdays in Virgo season as well, but, or, oh my gosh, Libra season. My gosh, you guys, I do apologize. But, even if that is the case, I still feel like you likely had an opportunity to receive things, and again, to be made very aware of abundance within your life currently, right? Some of you, again, could have attracted new people into your life, right? Found new people trying to come into your life. Some of you accepted that, some of you did not. You could have had people trying to show you, or, situations where you were being honored or acknowledged or praised or something along those lines. And some of you accepted that and some of you didn't. Some of you accepted it but don't believe it, right? But I do feel like God was trying to give you this opportunity to show you how valuable you are. And here's the thing about that. I want to point something out to you, because I've never had this thread show up for me in this card before. To me, you're very much like this bee here. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully it's clear. It's quite small. But some of you are like this bee here, right? Those hummingbirds, the flowers, need, and even that human being need that bee, right? They need that bee. The flowers need the bee to pollinate. The hummingbirds need the flowers in order to survive, right? And we as human beings rely on bees to pollinate as well, so that we can have, flowers and all of these like vegetables, like all sorts of things, right? Honey. So, Scorpio, I'm seeing you very much like that bee there. I don't think it's very small and seemingly insignificant, right? But the truth of the matter is it's not, right? It has quite an impact on its surroundings. And, I think this is something that people, or you may have been in situations where you've been trying to be shown this. And again, for some of you, you've refused that. For others of you, you've accepted it, but don't believe it. Or not even accepted it, but you've, I don't even know, like picked it up, like, okay, fine, right? But you don't believe it. And then for others of you, you may have started to understand or acknowledge, wow, I really do have an impact on people around me. They really do care. They really do love me, right? And for some of you, this could have been shown to you, via a birthday celebration of some sort. Okay. But it is beautiful. And I think, October was trying to show you how important you are to people. So, how have you grown? We have go the distance here. So, here's the thing. I feel like some of you have realized like you don't have to be a certain something. Okay? Like, so you don't have to reach a certain, look at this cheetah here, right? You don't have to reach a certain finish line, as it were, or a certain level to be valuable. Okay? I feel like there's an energy here of like slow and steady wins the race kind of thing, right? And I feel like many of you may have had the opportunity, excuse me, to grow in the sense of I don't have to be something in order to be liked. I don't have to be something in order to be valuable, right? Like I can still be along my journey and not have it all figured out yet, and people can still admire me and like me and love me and care for me. It's very, very interesting, Scorpio, because I feel like for you, the month of October was meant to be one of showing you how valuable you truly are. Showing you how much of an impact that you have on other people, right? And I do feel like there are many people who want to be close to you, who want to be allowed to roam around those depths that are you, right? But there's this fascinating thing going on here because I feel like you want to know others as well. You want to be close to them. You want to have deep connections with people. But I still feel like there's a side of you, Scorpio, who is fearful of that. Part of you um, doesn't let people get close enough to get deep to understand you. And simultaneously, a part of you wants to allow people to do that, right? So you kind of have this wall, some of you, and or may have had in the past, right? Some of you may have grown out of this or seen this about yourself and have decided to change things. Pardon me, but I am getting this fear energy coming up, this work be fear energy, which is saying, you fear people seeing those depths, right? It's almost like you feel like you're too intense for you. So why would anybody else want to deep dive into that? But I think you underestimate or yeah, I mean, I think you underestimate your value. I think you underestimate how much people admire you and care for you, and I think you underestimate what people are willing to go through. And it's not even well, okay, let me back up a little bit. I think you underestimate what people are willing to go through to get to know you. And by that I mean uh many times the people who are actually seeking to get to know you, to dive deep into those layers, are not going to turn and run at the first sign of that's not something I've ever heard before, right? So I feel like there's this, I don't know, there's this element of you feeling maybe so intense within yourself that you wonder, right? If I dump these things onto people, are they going to turn and run because I share this with them, because I let them get close, right? And the truth of the matter is that if they're seeking those depths, it's unlikely that they're going to be afraid of them, right? People who are afraid of the depths don't wander into them just because. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, they tend to steer clear of those things. Those who are willing to travel in the depths are the ones who are asking, right? Just because they know that they're able to tolerate that they're able to handle it, that they're willing to as well, right? And it's unlikely. I mean, that's not to say that this is true all the way around, but a lot of times, uh, more people are willing to accept things about us that we don't think that they will, right? So, here's the thing. I feel that for some of you, there is this element of like go the distance in the sense of, the people who are trying to see those depths are there for the long haul, right? They're going to be there to acknowledge things, understand things, right? They're willing to put in the work. And I feel like for some of you, you've been shown that in the month of October. I feel like some of you have learned that you don't have to be a certain status level of a certain status level, a certain income bracket, or any type of measure of a person to be liked, admired, enjoyed by other people, right? I feel like it's just kind of like, the people who want to get to know you just simply want to get to know you. So that's really interesting, and I also feel like there's an element here of there being nothing wrong with you taking your time, right? I feel like for some of you, you may have learned in the month of October, things that are meant to be will find their way to me with this come to me card, right? And I don't have to rush into anything. If it's meant to happen, if it's meant to work out, it will, right? And if I'm meant to experience something, God will bring it to me, type of thing, right? So there's that element of it as well for the month of October. Just a minute, guys. I'm going to take a quick drink. Okay, so let's move into November. Take a look there. So what has come in for you for this month? We have forge, don't follow, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. Honestly, Scorpio, I'm really getting this pave a new path. I really feel like you've been given this beautiful opportunity to experience life from a completely different perspective, allowing the previous one to die and you to be reborn into a new way of being, right? I feel like there's this opportunity here during the month of November, right, for you to really, really, it's like, I feel like it's this huge change of perspective, right? Because it's, okay, how do I word this? When you start to acknowledge the truth of who you are, right? That you are beautiful, that you are amazing, that you are perfect the way you are, that people enjoy you the way that you are, right? When you start to acknowledge these things about yourself, you step into this powerful way of being, right? Where there is little fear and where you don't feel so limited, kind of fully stepping into or transforming, right? And I feel like you've been giving this opportunity through, like, I feel like it started in October and now rolling into November. Throughout the month, you've likely been given this opportunity to experience life in a completely different way, from a different perspective, right? This powerful place where you aren't questioning yourself all the time, wondering if you're too intense for people, wondering if you're too extreme for people, wondering if you're going to persevere. Are you going to make it, right? Do you have to keep sacrificing bits of yourself? I feel like there's this powerful space that you've had the opportunity to step into if you've allowed yourself to, right? It's kind of moving away from this like paranoia of like, what if people don't like me? What if I'm too much? What if, that sort of stuff. It kind of feels like moving away from that a little bit and moving more towards this energy of like, oh, wow, I'm actually enough the way I am. Oh, wow, actually people look up to me. Yeah. Releasing any fear of not being enough or being worthy or valuable, right? I feel like this is a new path that you have the ability to walk upon through the month of November. And I feel like, if you resonate with this, I feel like there's the potential here for a powerful new beginning for you to experience life in a completely different way. One that to me feels less controlling, right? And I don't mean that necessarily about other people, right? I'm not saying you're like this control freak person who's like mean to people and things, but it feels more like this energy of, I don't feel like I have to control. How do I word this? It's almost like you've been your own gatekeeper, right? So like, people are at the gate like, hey, I want to get to know you. I would like to come in. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe you can take a step closer. And then, that person steps close and you're like, oh, no, no, okay, that's far enough. That's far enough, right? I feel like some of you are kind of letting that down a little bit, right? And letting people get a little bit closer, not having to control so much of who you let close, right? Because it's almost like, well, if I'm too much for you, then I'm too much for you. It's not, what else can I do? Right? Which, when you do that, you allow yourself to be who you are fully, right? There's not a fear of, maybe I'm too much for you, maybe I'm too intense for you, maybe I'm too passionate for you, maybe I'm too emotional for you, maybe I'm too determined for you, right? That sort of thing. And you don't really have to sacrifice bits of yourself in the sense of like, um, oh, I can only be this person around these people. And I have to kind of sacrifice or push down these bits of myself, right? I don't know. It's very interesting energy, Scorpio, but I feel like you've had a beautiful opportunity to experience life in a different way, paving this new path for yourself. Okay. Well, and here, let me, before I jump into that, you also have, like, look at this. See how there's like this world of the cosmos with stars and clouds, and it moves into the physical world, right? Where there are rivers and greenery, right? There's trees. It's interesting because it's like you are a multifaceted being, right? And not all aspects of you are going to resonate with everyone because they are also multifaceted beings, right? We're all different. And I think, I don't know how to explain this because there's kind of this energy of like, I'm different, right? Like, can't you just see I'm different? And Scorpio, I love you guys so much. My oldest son is a Scorpio and I love him so much. But you guys, we're all different. We are all fucking different. And many of us don't think that we think the same way as other people, right? And if you can acknowledge that, right? And realize that we're all different in our own ways. And that's what makes life interesting, right? I feel like you could potentially, again, experience a whole new way of being. Like, oh, I'm actually not over here in the darkness all by myself. Um, Actually, like, there's this whole new world that I have yet to explore because I haven't allowed myself the opportunity to do it, right? When you think, oh, I'm the only one like this, or no one will ever understand me, you separate yourself from other people. You create that wall. And the more you do that, the bigger that fucking wall gets. So if you can start, which I feel started in the month of October, if you can start and continue to understand that we are all different, right? There are going to be those who don't understand us, but then there will be those who will, and start putting down that wall. You're going to feel less like the outcast, less like the outsider, less like you're too intense for people. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like these stories that you've created in your own mind have in the past prevented you from experiencing this expansive life because you've limited yourself by classifying yourself or categorizing yourself in a certain way, and maybe you're the only one that sees it like that. Okay, so just some things to consider. You also have here jump in, Andromedan energy, adventure, and say yes to change. What? Yeah. If you let yourself, what was I saying? November for you feels like it's been this month of, are you going to allow yourself this opportunity for something different or no? But you have to be willing. Okay. Let me get the book on this one. I want to read this for you guys. I feel like there could be an additional message here for someone, right? And as I read, if there's a message for you, if you find something that resonates with you, comment below and let me know. But it says here, Andromeda, that's really loud, guys. They must be working on our heating system here. I do apologize for the banging. Our heating system has been out of whack, and it's been a challenge. So I do apologize for the banging. It says here, Andromeda is a spiral galaxy, the closest galaxy to the Milky Way. It's believed that Andromedan starseeds are a group of beings who love their freedom. very adaptable. They have a strong willingness and ability to change and go with the flow, to find calm in the chaos, to swim with the tides. This card is here to encourage you to do the same. Perhaps you have a significant goal or opportunity ahead of you. If so, you're being guided to jump in. Don't wait for permission. Don't stall until you feel ready. Take a deep breath, a good old run up, and jump right on in. Life bends for the courageous, and courageous is what you're being called to be. You're already facing the right direction. The only thing left to do is leap. You'll figure out the details as you go along. Things may not always be smooth sailing. Life on Earth rarely is. However, it's the rougher seas that teach us how to sail with glory. And once you know that, you can navigate any sea, ocean, or storm. The Andromedans want you to fall in love with surfing, the waves of life, to seek more adventures, to embrace your own adaptability, and to find a way to be the calm in the chaos. You didn't come to Earth to be passive. You came to Earth to truly live. Now take a good run up and leap. How can you be more adventurous? How are you being called to jump right on in and leap? So, like I was saying, Scorpio, right? There's this element here of not hiding who you truly are, right? Just understanding that there are some people who are going to get you and some who aren't. And that is true for every single human being on this planet. Okay? You have an opportunity here to jump in, pave a new path, right? But again, it's a choice. You have to decide, are you going to say yes to the change? Are you going to allow yourself to be reborn or not? Right? So how is this going to help you moving forward, excuse me. Okay, you have the Page of Cups here. I feel like this is going to, first of all, I feel like you're going to find life quite surprising. If you allow yourself to pave this new path, to experience something new, to jump in, take that leap, I feel like you're going to be happily surprised, because I feel like you're going to find that people are far more accepting of you than what you thought they would be, first of all. Second of all, I feel like there is this energy here of you following your dreams and not being afraid of them, should you allow yourself the opportunity to experience something different. Okay? Because that Page of Cups is the dreamer, right? And the Page of Cups is very much like you, Scorpio, in the sense of it feels very deeply, right? It's very deep energy, right? Intense kind of energy, right? And so, here's the thing, like, I feel like there's an element of essentially just stepping into who you are as that dreamer, as that, intense, deep being, and allowing yourself to experience yourself fully, which is really interesting. That's not how I was expecting that to come through. But anyways, I feel like, again, there's this opportunity here for you to be able to step into who you are as that dreamer, as feeling things intensely, right? And I think you'll find yourself happily surprised by how accepting people are of who you are, right? And honest, I think people probably know a lot more about you than what you think they do. Just saying. We have this Hermit energy here in the reverse showing up as well. So I think this is going to help you as well by, I feel, moving you out of this energy of being isolated, feeling alone. I feel like it's going to help you to overcome your fears of rejection. I feel like you will feel less lonely, right? Should you allow yourself to say yes to yourself, to a new experience, right? I feel like it's going to help to bring you out of that isolated type of energy. Again, fearing rejection far less than you have in the past. I think you'll be happily surprised by how few people reject you. That's not to say that Nope. Oh, pardon me. I'm getting fear here. So I do feel like this is a fear of yours. Okay. It's not to say that people won't reject you, Scorpio, right? It's bound to happen. You can't be all the things for everyone, right? You can't fit perfectly into the mold for every single person. Okay. So I do feel like there is a fear of that rejection. And there will be people who will reject you, Scorpio, but the ones who don't, right? The ones who do see you, I feel like you're going to be happily surprised by that, because I feel like your fear of rejection will be less, and you will no longer feel as lonely. You won't feel like you need to withdraw so much, because I feel like you're going to see that there are people who will accept and acknowledge you exactly the way you are. Intensity, depth, the whole, all of it, right? What else do we have here? The Queen of Pentacles in the reverse as well. It's going to take you getting out of your comfort zone, Scorpio. And this is what God's trying to do, I feel. I really do feel that. I feel God is trying to get you out of your comfort zone, because your comfort zone has prevented you from experiencing life the way that you could, right? That's how I feel. And if you have taken this opportunity to kind of open up and, let people come in a bit, and, things like that, again, I feel like you will be happily surprised jumping into this, right? Maybe you have done this through the month of November. Maybe you have realized, like, oh wow, I was stuck in my comfort zone. Things do look a bit more differently that I've stepped out of it now, right? But with this Queen of Pentacles, again, this is, for me right now, showing up as an energy of like, you're comfortable in your comfort zone, and in order to experience life differently, you're going to have to get out of that, right? There is an energy here as well with the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse of jealousy. And Scorpio, one of the traits that maybe isn't so what is the word, pleasing to some, right, is a more kind of jealous energy. So I do feel like there's an element here of helping you to break away from that as well, by it's like not fearing the rejection so much, allows you to just be who you are, and not necessarily be jealous of people who seem like they're just accepted, but like it doesn't take any work at all, right? And I think there's something you need to understand, that a lot of times when people are just, how do I word this? A lot of times, the more people someone has around them, the faker they are. Now, I'm not saying that applies to everyone, but it does tend to be kind of a repeating pattern, right? Because it's like you can't please everyone. You really, really can't. And not everyone appreciates the authenticity. Okay? Like, a lot of people like you to be who they think you should be, okay, versus who you actually are. And so I think once you start to open up to that and realize that, that a lot of the people who do seem to just have it all figured out are really just changing masks as they move between people. I feel like that jealousy could kind of diminish, right? I feel like it's less likely that you'll experience that as prevalently, or as often. Four of Cups here in the reverse, and here's the thing, I feel like this is going to help you to choose happiness, Scorpio, right? Understanding these things about yourself, right? I feel like moving forward, it's going to help you to choose what makes you happy, to accept yourself fully, as well as being fully aware of who you are and acknowledging that and being happy about it. Because here's the thing, when you push things down about yourself, you also end up wearing a mask, right? You're not being true. You're not being authentic. And so there's this energy here of getting uncomfortable, or excuse me, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, stepping outside of your comfort zone, accepting yourself for who you are, being aware of the fact that you aren't going to be able to please everyone, you aren't going to be able to fill everyone's cup, and just choosing to be happy anyways, right? But you have to be willing to experience change in order to welcome that in, right? This is a game, a life, an experience of polarity, of duality, of, the opposites of things. And you have to learn how to navigate all of the things, right? It's not just, oh, I'm going to navigate when things are good. No, you have to be able to navigate when things are not so great either, right? And be able to move on and accept things for what they are and be aware of things for what they are, but still choosing the path that, most resonates with you. But again, in order to see either of those paths, you have to be aware of them. You have to be willing to see them. You have to be willing to accept them, right? So we're not always going to have it all figured out. We're not. It's that simple, right? But you can't allow that to prevent you from moving forward in life. You can't allow that to prevent you from experiencing true happiness. You have to choose the path, right? You have to leap in. The Knight of Swords. So with the Knight of Swords here, this is about taking action, right? This is also about, it can be like an impulsive energy, or kind of like an ambitious energy. But I feel like this is about you taking action, Scorpio. Honest. I feel like this is about you just jumping in. And there's that ambitious energy there. In jumping in, right? Being ambitious, wanting to experience change, wanting to move forward, right? If you look on this card here, the Knight of Swords, he's making a beeline or running, it appears, towards that motorcycle, which is another fast-paced thing, right? It's not like he's riding a snail. No, he's riding a fucking motorcycle. Okay? So this is about taking action. It's about moving forward. It's about, not hesitating. Jump in, take that leap, choose happiness, right? Take that action. I feel like this will help you moving forward. Should you choose to do it again, you have to be willing, right? Yeah. Finally, here's the Hierophant showing up for you, right? And the Hierophant, first of all, is the archetype of the mentor, right? I feel like this is about you becoming your own mentor, following what you feel is right and true for you, okay? Not hiding from that. Because a lot of times, here's the thing, that the Hierophant is the energy of you being your own mentor, right? Like not having to seek out a guru or anything else, but really getting in touch with the fact that your own intuition knows what's best for you and following that. Again, being your own guru, your own mentor, right? The Hierophant is also a very grounded energy. It's connected with Taurus. So it's very grounded. It's very patient, appreciative, right? And this is also, energy. I feel like this is something you need to have for yourself, Scorpio, right? Is that appreciation for who you are, that patience with yourself as you learn how to navigate who you are, right? And being grounded in the sense of like, there are just going to be some people who don't like me, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to please everybody, right? I do feel like you could potentially find yourself moving more into these spiritual awakenings, these spiritual understandings with the Hierophant here, right? You may find yourself moving away from tradition, society, and organized religion, those status quo types of things. You may find yourself moving away from them, breaking free from them, because I feel like, to be honest, Scorpio, they probably never fit you to begin with, right? And you may have tried to adapt things that other people tried to push on you. Maybe it was parents, maybe it was family members, maybe it was friends, social circles, cultures, whatever it is. But I feel like you could have taken on things that weren't ever yours to begin with, and so now you've been put in a position to essentially adapt to who you truly are, and allow your whole life to adapt to that. Again, taking a step back from tradition, taking a step back from society and organized religion, realizing like, hey, I'm fucking different. We're all different. I don't fit into this category that you've been trying to shove me in, and I'm not going to keep trying to get into it. Like, I'm not going to keep trying to hide from myself, right? I'm going to follow what I feel is best for me and just be who I am, right? And I think that's beautiful, Scorpio, because, moving forward, that's going to help you to be far more comfortable with yourself, and it's going to help you to trust yourself. And that's a big part of this, right? I feel November for you is bringing in this grand opportunity to help you to learn how to trust yourself, which is going to help you tremendously moving forward, right? You're going to be able to, should you allow yourself, to make moves and not feel like you don't know what the fuck you're doing, not feeling like you're going to get lost in the sauce, not feeling like, you're don't know your head from your ass, like, essentially, right? You're going to feel like, okay, this is what I'm meant to be doing, and I'm just going to do it. I'm not, you know, worried about who's going to tell me it's wrong or what have you. I'm not going to be limiting myself. I'm just going to move forward, trusting that what I feel and know to be true within myself is right for me. And that's beautiful. Okay. That could potentially allow you to, if you will, kind of funnel or channel that energy that you hold within you, right? Be that energy of being very passionate, being very driven, being very determined, being very perceptive, right? Allowing that to move you forward. So, guidance for you, Scorpio, we have two messages here for you. One has a stag on the front and it says, "You are beauty." The message being, "Dearest you, the common sayings, be in the world but not of it, and wear the world loosely, refer to the need to be engaged with life while not being attached to specific outcomes. Do not take this world too personally," which is something, I'm just going to pause very briefly, which is something that, at least in my own experience with my Scorpio sun, I don't have a Scorpio sun. My son, has a Scorpio. He's a Scorpio sun. Okay. He does tend to take things very personally, very, 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 very personally. Okay. So, having experienced this myself with my Scorpio, I feel like, this is a huge message that I've been trying to get through to him, actually all through the month of probably September, October, and a little bit this month as well. So, very interesting for me personally to read this. I hope some of you resonate with this as well and find it helpful. Okay, do not take this world too personally, for you are one of many co creators here to play, and we have many ideas about how this should all play out. Just know the outcomes don't matter as much as the presence you bring to each experience and how you let yourself flow through life. Yeah, very much like what I was saying, in the earlier parts of the reading. There's a real freedom in knowing and accepting this. So, will you wear the world loosely, or will it straitjacket you? It is your choice. Whatever happens, have the courage to keep trying to live as you are meant to. And when it comes to manifesting, don't worry about the how or even the why. We have that covered. Everything is going to turn out exactly as it should. Spirit has a plan, loving you always and forever. Right? So, again, this message here of just being who you are, right? Just being who you are. And, not worrying about the outcome so much. Scorpio, there are going to be people who don't like you, and who fucking cares? Right? Why should that stop you from being who you truly are? You can't please everyone. You can't. It's impossible. Okay? The only thing that matters is if you are living truthfully and authentically for you. Right? That's what matters. Are you okay with you? And if not, why? Right? So I feel moving forward, the guidance here is for you to just be who you are. Wear this world loosely. If somebody doesn't agree with you, or somebody doesn't align with you, or somebody, doesn't see your point of view or accept you, has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Right? There's a song. Some of you may know this. It's called None of My Business, I think is what the song is called, by Andy Mineo. And he says, if you don't like me, that's your problem. When I let it bother me, that's my problem. And that's exactly what I feel here for you, Scorpio, moving forward, right? So I would say to you, like, if they don't like you, that's their problem. If you let it bother you, that's when you should be asking yourself, why? Why is this bothering me? Why am I letting this bother me? Right? That's when it becomes your problem. Okay? You also have your Scorpio. This card says with love, and there's like a hummingbird type of bird on the front. It says here, dearest you, we bet you must be so exhausted some days. Giving as much as you do, sharing your energy so beautifully in service to the highest good, can leave you feeling depleted, like an empty well. I'm going to pause very quickly because I feel like for you, Scorpio, there is this sacrificing type of energy that you carry, right? You are willing to give and give and give and give, sacrificing bits of yourself for other people, right? But a lot of times are unwilling to receive, which is what I feel October was trying to show you. Okay. So perhaps November, right? As you move through the October energy, navigated it, perhaps you found yourself in November being able, still giving, but also being able to receive. Or perhaps there's this need for you to have a reminder of it's beautiful to give, but you must also be willing to receive, right? So it would be interesting, right? We start out the reading with you allowing yourself to receive, or at least that's what October was trying to teach you or help you to heal, right? And then the end of the reading is again a very similar energy. Okay. So it says here, dearest you, we bet you must be so exhausted some days, giving as much as you do, sharing your energy so beautifully in service to the highest good, can leave you feeling depleted, like an empty well. If it feels as if there's no more water for you, the good news is we have a plan. Today, go take a relaxing bath, book a massage, read a novel, buy yourself flowers, or plant some in your garden. Make time for self care, not more work on yourself. By tending to yourself now, you are reminded to do so more often. And be sure to use a word that might have caused you anxiety in the past, but is essential for your well being now. No. Say it with us. No, thank you. No, I can't. No, you don't have to explain. Just say no, gently but firmly, then go for a soak. Life will wait for you to bring yourself back to center, replenished and ready for more adventure. We love you so very much. So, again, the energy moving forward, Scorpio, right, which started its work in October, is for you to be able to give back to yourself, to allow yourself to receive not just from other people, but from yourself as well, right? It's not always about you sacrificing yourself or things like this, hiding parts of yourself for other people. It's also about you giving back to you. It's also about you receiving from other people and from yourself, right? And I think that that's very beautiful because you know that is, how do I word this, like, once you learn to love yourself, once you learn to allow people in to see the true bits of you, and you drop that fear of rejection, that fear of not being enough, that fear of being too much, or what have you, you experience life in a beautiful new way, right? Without these limitations, without these fears. And you really do get the opportunity not only to get to know other people, but for you to get to know yourself as well. So, Scorpio, that is what I have for you for the month of November. I truly pray that this has been something that's been valuable, helpful to you in some way, shape, or form. If it resonated with you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, and or subscribing. It truly does help the channel to grow and lets YouTube know that there may be something here that's valuable for others to see as well. Again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so very much. I'm sending you the biggest of hugs. I'm sending you so much love. Take care of your beautiful soul. Have an incredible month. and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.